Hello folks, this is Robert Wetzel from Rob Dies at the End. Today we're going to be learning how to build a phenactiscope using Inkscape. A phenactiscope is an optical illusion where you arrange items in a certain way to make it look like they're moving and whenever you spin an item. To actually see this illusion, you've got to look at it through a phone camera, and it has to be in direct sunlight or really good light. I learned most of this from a gentleman named Drew Tetz, excuse me. He has some fantastic work you should check out on Instagram of all kinds of stuff. We'll be looking at one that's kind of simple like this. We can use the same idea for one where we can do some stuff with spinning. You can use the same idea basically on top of each other to make it look like things are moving in and out of each other on that. And then there's some other techniques that we will not do today that can make kind of animated, make things look like they're moving around in different ways. So today we're going to be using Inkscape. Inkscape is a free open source program. You can download it on Mac or PC. So we're going to start today with making a circle, the small circle. We're just going to make a really, really small circle. We're going to click that. From there, we're going to put the circle in the middle of our page. To do that, we're going to go up to Object, and we're going to click Align and Distribute. When we click Align and Distribute, then it's going to create this little box here. You're going to make sure that you're going to align and distribute relative to the page. So it goes to the middle of the page. And then you're going to click this button to make it center on the vertical axis. So it's left and right centered and up and down centered. So we have a dot in the middle of the page. We're going to end up deleting that dot at the end. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our objects around. I'm going to use, as an object, I'm going to use a letter. We're going to use a letter S. On Inkscape, you can choose, there's whatever fonts are already on your computer. You can download more fonts. I'm going to make my S a little bit bigger. On Inkscape, the way you do that is you click it. You can hold down the control button so it doesn't distort it when you make it bigger or smaller. I'm going to also align this horizontally on my page. Once I do that, I have to click this, and I have to actually make it so that it's not text. So the computer program recognizes it as an object, not as text. So to do that, I'm going to go up to click Path and Object to Path. So now it's an official object. It's a path, and it's not a text box. I'm going to click on this twice, and you'll notice that when I click on it a second time, we get curved corners. That means I'm going to rotate it. That it allows me to rotate it. But before I rotate it, I'm going to change my center of rotation. So there's a little cross, little plus mark in the middle of this. I'm going to drag that into our little circle. That circle is going to tell us where the center of the rotation is going to be. If anybody else knows a way to snap that to the center, let me know. Put it in a circle is the best way to know how to do it. After you do that, we are going to do some sort of technical stuff. We're going to click Edit. After we click Edit, we're going to go down to Clone, and we're going to go to Create Tiled Clones. It's going to pull up a new thing. There's one thing that I don't know why this is, but you have to make sure under the Shift tab, under Shift X and per column, and it must say -100 for your Shift X. Nothing works unless you put -100 here. All right, so we're going to start putting a certain number of items around. So we're going to click our rotation tab. The deal is with the number of items that you put around the outside of your circle, however many the more you have, the slower it moves. So if you have 8 or 9 objects, it's going to look like it's moving real fast and almost choppy. If you have 28, 29 objects, then it's going to look like it's going to be moving very slow and very smooth. We're going to go today, we'll make it 20 today. However many objects you want to have, you want to put it into the columns tab right there. Then we need to do a little bit of math. So it's 360 degrees is all the way around a circle. So this is asking us how many degrees do our things need to be separated by. So we're going to pull out our calculator, and we're going to do 360 degrees divided by however many objects you have. In this case, we have 20 objects. So we're going to divide that, and it says these need to be separated by 18 degrees. So we're going to take this little box here, and we're going to make that 18 degrees. We're going to, after we do that, click Create, and there we go. We have 20 objects arranged around that center there. All right. So if we have 20 objects here, if I want these to look like they're moving at a different speed than the next one, then my next objects I need to have either less or more than 20, slightly different. So I'm going to just make an object here. You can put in some of your own pictures. Make sure you turn them into a path, that same object a path. On ours, we're going to make our thing. We're going to click so that it has little bent things on the side. We're going to grab kind of the middle of that and drag it here. Put it in the middle as much as we can. Once we do that, then we're going to make sure our shift is still a negative 100. It is. We're going to figure out how many items we want. I'm going to put 19 objects for this, so this thing will look like it's going a little faster when we're spinning. I'm going to take my calculator and do 360 divided by 19. We're going to get 18.9 degrees. And so we'll type that in, 18.9 in our angle per column. And then we're going to click create. All right, we've got 2 circles that are going. If we printed this out, slapped it on a disk, when they spin, they look like they'd be going different rates that are here. You can, if you're planning to do this for disc off dyeing, make sure you delete that dot in the middle so that it's not on your final. And you can export this as a PDF or lots of different formats. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can find me on Instagram at robdyes at the end. Thanks.